Once upon a time, a story was born, a story full of heart, curiosity, and characters who see the world just a little differently. That story has become Liam and the Loupes, a children's book series created to celebrate neurodiversity, imagination, and everyday moments that matter. And this is Looped In, the podcast where we invite you behind the scenes as we bring this world to life. I'm your host, Austin Spearow, and alongside me is the wonderful creator of this book series, Melvin Lopez, who will be joining us throughout this creative journey. And together, we'll share the inspirations, the illustrations, and the beautiful mess of pre-production and all the other ways we are building stories that speak to kids on the autism spectrum and the people who love them most. So settle in, open your mind, maybe your heart too, and let's get looped in. Melvin, how you doing this morning?
I am doing great. Thank you so much for that awesome intro, Austin. I'm telling you, man, I am doing great, and I am so excited to be here, man. I am so happy that you have accepted to take part in this project, and thank you so much to all of you who have responded. We've been at it for about 3 weeks now. The response has been overwhelming. Especially, we're going to get to where everybody is, but right now, especially in Clarksville, Tennessee, Fort Campbell, Kentucky, we're looping in. we're getting it. And thank you so much for that wonderful introduction. And Austin, you are correct, man. This world was born in this little mind, and I am so happy to be able to give you and all of our listeners a taste of what it's been like and where we are, what this project is, answer every question, and have some fun and make a difference in this world, which is what we all want to do, my friend.
Yeah, it is all that we want to do. And I guess before we talk about where we're going and where we are, I think maybe we should talk a little bit about who we are and why we're involved in this project. So I guess if you don't mind, maybe I'll start with myself.
Please do.
So I got brought onto this project by Melvin. So I want to thank Melvin for letting me in on this project. But my background, the reason why I'm kind of involved, I'm not just, a lowly podcast host or anything. I'm actually in education. I spent 5 or 6 years being a teacher, an elementary school teacher primarily. I've taught as young as first grade all the way to eighth grade. I spent a long time teaching. Currently, I am a dean at an elementary school, so that might sound a little weird because elementary schools don't normally have deans, but I'm dealing with mainly discipline, and so I'm, looking to make sure that everybody is treated equally and fairly. But really, the main reason why that I accepted the invitation to kind of be the podcast host here is this cause, the what this book is all about at its core, the autism spectrum world is really important to me because I have a brother who is on the autism spectrum. He has what's known as Asperger syndrome. For those of you that are not quite familiar with the terms, the different terms, Asperger syndrome is a higher functioning form of autism. It's still on the spectrum. And so I grew up with somebody who I watched face many challenges and overcome them all. And my brother means a lot to me. And when Melvin came to me and talked to me about, this project, and he was like, I've got this book series planned out and I really want you to be a part of it. I couldn't see any reason why I could say no. It's very, very important to me, and I'm glad that I'm in on the groundwork of this journey, I guess, so you can say. Um, do you want to introduce yourself a little bit,
Yes, of
Melvin?
course. I will take next. Thank you so much for that awesome introduction. And I will let you know to our audience that I know it doesn't have much to do with Looped In and what we're doing here, but Austin is also a professional stuntman. So the day that the Loupes get their movie or something like that, we're gonna have some contacts in Hollywood. So I don't know, maybe we'll put Liam jumping over a bridge or something, and Austin can arrange that. So
Maybe we'll see.
in his spare time, Austin also and is a great stuntman as well. And well, here I am. This is you guys that all our listeners have been with us for about 4 weeks now, and I'm the one behind all of this. My name is Melvin Lopez. I'm going to write these books under the pseudonym MJ Lopez. Don't ask what MJ stands for unless you're from California. That's just but I'm gonna write under that pseudonym. So Melvin, MJ, whatever you want to call me, just don't call me late for dinner. And when I started this journey, first of all, a lot of people ask me, why did you choose a wolf? Why did you choose a wolf? Well, it was coincidence. It was not anything other than coincidence, because my last name is Lopez, Lopez, and the name Lopez means son of a wolf. Lupus means wolf. That's why this is called Louped in. That's why Liam is called Liam and the Loupes. The Loupes is the last name. Is the this is their. It's pretty much the French version of Lopez. Loup would be, and also worked out because I wanted to write a book that represented children with autism, and it also works out because wolves. When I started reading about wolves, I found out that wolves are very reclusive, and they have stayed away from humans intentionally because they want to be reclusive, because they have been pestered so much. So that sounded a little familiar to me. I wanted an animal that's misunderstood, that's, has a reputation, because wolves are not like they have been portrayed at all. So it excited me. That got me excited because I could relate to the plight of a wolf, so that's why we created this world full of wolves. As you all know, I have autism. I have had autism all my life, but I was only diagnosed as an adult. So I know what a lot of people go through their lives, through their youth, through the days that when they're growing up. And I grew up undiagnosed. I was diagnosed when I was 39 years old. So all that youth, I always think what resources, and I understand because back then there was not a lot of research about autism and everything, and there's still a lot being discovered. But I also wanted to prevent, I wanted to give children like I was with autism someone to look up to, and someone to see, someone to represent them. Because I was reading a lot of books with my son, Austin, and there were not a lot of characters with autism. And there are some minor characters. I've seen some, but never has one character in a book or an animated series been the guy with autism, and everybody has to. And it's explicitly said that he has autism, not inferred.
Like there's a lot in pop culture where you can
There's a lot of pop culture
you can
that you
imply
can be
that they
like,
have
okay, yeah,
autism.
maybe this character does have a little bit of autism. Maybe Sheldon Cooper does have a little bit of autism. Maybe this Monk, he has a little bit of this, maybe a little bit of that, but never, I've never seen a character other than in children's literature that shows this guy has autism and this guy's world is just like yours. So that's what I wanted to do. This came from me trying to find characters that related to my son, and I could not find one. So we created one. So this is where all this came from. And my goal is to give families like your family, Austin, like my family, like all the families that are listening to us. These are not books for children with autism. These are books for families to learn how to support someone with autism. That's it. Like, if you are a person who doesn't have autism, don't know anybody with autism, well, I got news for you. You more than likely do, first of all. And second of all, you might encounter someone whom you have to understand. And this is what these books are about: inclusion, understanding, and realizing, hey, this character, he might be a little off. He might think a little differently, but he is just as valuable to society than I am, and as I am. And that is what this is about, my friend.
Right. Yeah, it really is a great cause. It's funny, I was really interested with the reason why you had it have Liam, our main character here, as a wolf, because the way that I interpreted it was I thought that was really interesting, because I thought it was a wolf because wolves travel in packs. And Liam, and his character has a pack around him that's supporting him, right? And so that's kind of where I went with that. So
and
it
that
was
works
really
out that way. That is,
yeah.
in the books, that pack dynamic is included. Pack
Yeah.
dynamic is going to be there. So
Yeah,
that's
so
totally untrue.
speaking of that pack dynamic and the characters, I know that maybe we'll go away from kind of where this was born to kind of where we're at now, and kind of what we've revealed so far, right? We can segue into that a little bit. Our first book is being developed, right? Not quite in print yet, but it's being developed, and we've got some character reveals. So if you want to take it away and kind of talk about the first book and what we have so far.
Well, so far we have two characters that have been revealed. Our superstar is Liam Loop, and for
Hmm.
those of you who are on who are watching on who are going to be watching on YouTube, well, you get a gold star for subscribing, first of all, and second of all, you get to see what the characters look like. So if you're listening to us on your favorite, if you're listening to us on your favorite platform, make sure that you also, if you want to see what Liam looks like, make sure that you uh, catch up on our YouTube page, because I am going to show you exactly what our friend Liam Loop looks like at this moment. If you are obviously on YouTube, if you are on on any other media, then please don't stop and don't stop what you're doing
Yeah.
and watch. But as I pull up, Liam is a little guy who obviously he has autism. But our main character, he sees the world differently. He we've all met a person with autism before. But we all know that meeting one person with autism, you know what that means, Austin? We have a saying in the autism community. If you know
Hmm.
what one person with autism, do you know how many people with autism you know? One. That's it.
Yeah.
Because there is no way that you are going to completely draw a person with autism. You cannot
Right.
do that. That's like saying, draw me a picture of the average American citizen. You can't do that. We all look different, right? We have some people that look one way, some people who look the other way. So with autism, it's the same way. It's manifested differently in certain people. And as we look at our friend right here, I'm showing a picture of our little friend Liam Loop right now. If for those of you who are in YouTube, our little friend right here, he's in the background of a space because he likes space, he likes things that move.
Okay.
He we give him a backpack because he's going to school, right? That's always my mind is, I like school, so I'm gonna give this guy a little bit of a school tooth, and our little character right here, he is afraid of a lot of things. He has a lot of anxiety. He needs his pack a lot to complete little things, and it's a continuous thing, because when Liam in the Loupes, our first book is gonna be called Liam's Day Out. The first book we've planned 5 books, and the first book it's called Liam's Day Out, and it's just him going outside and doing great things. But for someone like Liam, day out can have a lot of issues. Something just you cannot just and parents with autism know. I mean, parents to children with autism know that it can be a challenge. You can't just, hey, let's go and play at the bowling alley.
Right.
That there's no such thing as that. Sometimes with some children with autism, there's a process, and there's reasons why they're not acting the way they are because they want to annoy you. There's reasons. They have logical reasons, and in their mind everything makes sense. So his pack, like Austin mentioned, is going to rally together, and they're going to spend a great day outside. That's and it's going to be something that a lot of families are familiar with. And our second character, kind of like segueing into a second character that we have, is
Hmm.
Abby. And Abby is Liam's little baby sister. Not baby sister, she's his little mate. Because I did a lot of research on wolves, and how wolf pack composition works is you have the 2 alpha wolves, the alpha male, the alpha female, and then you have the rest of the wolves that make up the pack. But a lot of times those are different litters of the same pack, so they're different sets of siblings. Most wolf packs are comprised of the alpha male, the alpha female, a litter of siblings, and that's it. That's the pack. So
Okay.
we kind of gave that composition to Liam's pack. So Abby is his littermate. Abby is neurodivergent. Abby, I'm going to show her here in a minute. I'm going to show her picture for those of us in for those of you, I mean, for those of us on YouTube as well. Abby is a she's not a neurodivergent character. She is a neurotypical character. Abby Loup, right there. You guys are watching her. She is Liam's support. She is going to be the neurotypical voice of our stories. She is going to be the reader who does not have autism, who who doesn't know anybody with autism. She's going to be the one helping us understand from that perspective.
Right.
And she is going to be Liam's person. She is his support. She is his rock. Everybody else has a role, but I wanted Abby to be his rock because she was his littermate. And a lot of children with autism, they have that one person that they rely on. That calms them down. And sometimes it's a sibling, sometimes it's a parent. Obviously, we're gonna see how this unfolds in Liam's family. But I'm gonna give you a little spoiler now. That Abby is his person, and she is going to learn a lot, and she's going to teach us a lot, which is what we are trying to do. So those are the two main characters that have been now revealed to us. We have revealed those two. We're going to reveal one every 50 days. So
Okay.
all the way to launch, we're gonna reveal that. And we're really excited to see what other characters. Liam is not going to be the only character with autism, you see. And so we're gonna have a lot of fun. And it's really interesting because I've been reading a lot of the DSM and a lot of research to make these characters really relatable. And obviously these are anthropomorphic characters. Okay, this is not this is not research based. This is just, I'm trying all I can to get through the mind of a child
Right.
to educate adults. So
Right. And if you want to catch up on our on the reveals, you want to take another look at, Liam and Abby, you can go ahead, and if you're on YouTube or even on other platforms that you can leave a comment, go ahead and leave a comment about
yeah, we're on
what you think
Instagram,
so far. Yeah, go. You can
Facebook. We're
follow
not
us
on
on
TikTok just
Instagram.
yet because we don't know if we will have a TikTok soon, but
Yeah. Yeah, go ahead and give
Instagram
us a
and
follow.
Facebook, we're there.
Yeah, go ahead and give us a follow and drop a comment about what you think about Liam and Abby so far. And if you want to follow more of our character reveals and kind of see the you know progress on the book, you can follow Spectrum Book Publishers on Instagram. You can also follow it on Facebook. Just go ahead and give it a search and give it a like or give it a follow, and you'll be able to be caught up with everything. And then make sure you also hit the subscribe button for the Looped In podcast as well. So kind of moving on, we have, kind of the past, what we've, where this was kind of born, the present, kind of where we are now. And now let's talk about the future. Let's talk about the future a little bit. So, what's to come here? Where are we kind of at here so far?
Well,
And what's the plan? So,
my goal is to get I want this little guy behind me to be the Mickey Mouse for kids with autism. I want him to be the most recognized face for kids with autism there are. Obviously, that's going to take us a lot of years to achieve. So short term, how we're going to get there is we have a series of 5 books planned. We have 5 books. We're going to release one book every April 2nd, which is Autism Awareness Day, World Autism Awareness Day. And we are going to be in schools. We're going to be in hopefully we can partner with schools, we can partner with autism organizations, we can partner with libraries, we can partner with all stakeholders who want to help children with autism or want to help families with autism understand, because that's all we want. All my wife and I want, because she is a co-creator. We're going to talk about that in a minute too. All we want is for families to have understanding that children with autism are not doing what they do to annoy you. They're not doing it to annoy you. They don't deserve the looks they get. Sometimes they don't deserve the scorn they get. So we're trying to create understanding, inclusion, and we're trying to create more education, because So in the future, we're gonna see Liam animated. That's my goal. I want to put Liam on PBS. That's where I want to go. That's what
Right.
I want to see him animated. It's gonna take us a while to get there. We gotta write 5 books first. We gotta create an audience. We gotta create some partners in town. But that is where I'm driving. I'm driving to in 5, 6 years from now, we're gonna see Liam on PBS. And if we don't have him on PBS, he's gonna be up in our channel for people to see and watch. We're not going anywhere. We're gonna stick the landing, and however long it takes us to do this, we're gonna do it. And hopefully you'll see me in a school near you or a book fair near you or something like that, because we are coming, and I am really, really looking forward to this. I want Liam in your in at your house. That's what I want. I want you, our listener, even if you don't have a child with autism, you're a child without autism, your neurotypical child can learn from this. Even if you don't have, again, you probably do, just don't know. So even if you don't, even if you like, hey, maybe there's something here that I've been noticing my kid acts a little this way. Take him to a doctor. Maybe you can be like, hey, I've been reading this book about this little wolf, and my kid acts a lot that way. And your doctor's like, well, this is why. You see what I'm saying? So
Yeah.
that's what I want, Austin. I want us to in the future, this little guy behind us is going to be in every house that wants to get educated about autism and about all its manifestations, not just what we think autism is, but all its manifestations and all the issues, even the issues that are a little close to the chest that people have created. We're going to address them, and we're going to address them from an educated standpoint. These books are being written not only by a person with autism, but they're also being written by a mental health professional who is my wife, Crystal Lopez. She's a co-author, and she is not on. We're not only writing as parents, we're writing as professionals as well. So we're gonna keep growing it. If you are far away from Clarksville, Tennessee, we are coming to you. Don't worry. We're just gonna start. We gotta start our outreach out here first. But through these waves, who knows? Maybe it takes us a year to get animated on in PBS, not 2 or 3. You never know. But that is my vision, man.
Speaking it
My
into
vision is,
existence.
yeah, my vision is, let's write, let's connect with people, and see what happens.
Yeah. Right. Speaking into existence, PBS, we got something for you.
Hey, listen, if you're watching out there, if you are listening out there and you know someone on PBS, tell them to take a look, tell them to give us a call. We're coming. We're coming through. Don't worry.
It's really kind of special here. The more that I'm thinking about it, your wife is a mental health professional. I'm in education. You previously, before your current, position, were in education as well. And, we have family members and parents and, people that are even behind the scenes, people that are working on the book behind the scenes. They have autism, or they're related to somebody with autism, or they're in the world of autism in some shape or form, which is kind of nice, because really that's what the book is really doing, right? It's encompassing all different facets of the world of somebody with autism into one book series, right? So it's kind of nice that at the groundwork of this series, it's really being built by people from different parts of the autism world. So
And that's the
that's
point. That's
yeah.
that's that's exactly the point. I want people, our editor, for example, our editor, he is in the spectrum. I am in the spectrum. And we have people who are working, our illustrator, and we want to also adults with we also, as if we can also show that adults with autism don't really, I don't know, aren't what people think adults with autism are. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? Because I've had autism all my life, and I pay my taxes. I promise you. Okay, so that insanity that we've been hearing about people with autism, that's what we want to combat. And we as adults with autism, and as a father to children with autism, we want to educate folks, because I want to leave this world. I wanted to do something that was going to outlive me. And I really hope one of my kids takes over this, because autism is not going anywhere. It's not getting cured, because it's not something that you can just take an antidote for.
Right.
So we're I'm really looking forward to see where we go. And
Yeah.
please look for us in a school near you, because we're coming. And I'm really looking forward to this. And I'm also trying to get some people like Autism Tennessee, Autism Speaks, organizations who know about this, who can give me at least a thumbs up. Right now, our manuscript is being read by the executive director of Autism Tennessee. Our manuscript is also being read by a very special person, and it's the person who diagnosed me with autism 2 years ago. I visited her. Her name is Ms. Rebecca Townsend in Clarksville, Tennessee. She's very well known here, and she is going to give us some feedback on that book as well. The people from the Kennedy Center and Vanderbilt University, yes, Vanderbilt University, those people are going to read our manuscript and are also going to give us an impression of what they think. So this is a huge project. This is we didn't just wake up one morning and say, hey, I'm just going to draw this and throw it to the wall and see where it sticks. So we really thank you for being a part of this, our listeners. And we just sometimes I just want to wave a magic wand and tell the illustrator, dude, hurry up and do that. But that's not how art works, because that's his
Yeah.
lane. So
Yeah.
we'll have him here one day. We'll talk to
Yeah.
Sonny one day, our illustrator, and we'll have Corey, our editor, by one day. We'll have the co-author, my wife, Crystal, one day. We'll have Rebecca Townsend. She is the one that diagnosed me with autism, and she's reading our book. And she's going to also give us some impressions. The people from the International Wolf Center in Minnesota, they have also given me some impressions, even though they can't endorse the book. They've given me some feedback. That's clever. Wolves actually do that. That's funny. So I've tried to be respectful of wolves as well as much as I can, but obviously, they're anthropomorphic. So but
Yeah.
you know, really happy to be doing this, and I cannot wait to see where it leads, my friend.
Right. Yeah. So, you hear all of the different, people that are kind of involved with this book, and this book so far has been generating some interest, which is great to hear. We've actually been, getting some questions, about, this is kind of the groundwork, and, people that are getting, familiar with this book, they're starting to have some questions, and, we're ready to listen to questions from anybody. So if you want to drop a comment in the YouTube, or on your Spotify or wherever you're listening, and if it capability to have a comment, go ahead and drop a comment and a question in the comments, and we would be very happy to answer whatever questions you have, whether it be about the book or kind of the question that I'm going to pose to you, Melvin. It's been a very popular question at this point. Kind of getting away from the book itself, it's about the process. This book is self-published. It's literally from the ground up. It's not being presented to an already big established, company. It's not being, presented to Penguin Books or anything like that. It's literally, from the ground up. It's being self-published. So the biggest question that, we've gotten is how do you do that? How do you get self-published? Because it's not an easy journey, but it's also not a journey that is you really have to research to kind of figure it out, right? So maybe you can walk us through that, because I'm on the
Absolutely.
podcasting side of it. I'm not the writer of the book. I'm not writing the book. I'm not publishing the book. I'm not doing anything with that. I'm just here to present the book to you once a month, right?
Yes, of
So
course.
maybe you can answer
Yeah.
that question of, because we might have, people out there who want to self-publish. How do you go about that process? How do you get started?
Okay. Well, you go and self-publish. No, I'm kidding. Yeah. Well, if you are out there and you're wanting to write a book, I'm gonna give you my honest, because I tried. I really tried to find a publisher, but there's not that many. Like, demand is really like, there's many people wanting. There's a lot more people wanting to get published than publishers out there, and that's just what it is. It's just
Hmm.
just what it is. There's just not that many people. publishing out there, you got to find the right. So to me, that was a little overwhelming, like having to find a publisher, having to. So I started asking someone who has self-published, and I asked them, "How did you do it?" So, which is why I'm going to tell you exactly how I did it, which is exactly how he did it. All right. So the best thing to do when you're trying to self-publish is, for I'm talking about, obviously you got to write the book first and everything, you know. So let's say you've written the book, you need you need to self-publish. So
Right.
by self-publishing, what people mean is just you create your own little company. Okay, that's something I like. That how I did it was we created Spectrum Book Publishers LLC, which is a limited liability company with the state of Tennessee, and that is what we are going to use to publish ourselves. You know, being self-published is just another cute name of you're paying for the book yourself. So you got to find an illustrator if you're going to illustrate, and you're going to find a printer. So there are, I don't want to mention their names here because they haven't paid us for they haven't paid us for sponsorship, but there are a few platforms online, okay, that you can find freelance illustrators. And so I would say if you want to publish a children's book and you can't draw, like I can't draw, I cannot draw a stick figure to save my life. So if you want to self-publish and you have written your book, the next thing you want to do is find an illustrator who knows what they're doing. There is a platform out there who will show you their who will show you their work, and they will, you can read their reviews and everything. And so I would say write the book, establishing a limited liability company, whatever you want to call it, with your state. Find out what your state wants, what your state requires. Find you someone who can draw and talk with them about your goals and everything. Make sure that they're a good fit. Don't be afraid if they are from another country. Okay. A lot of artists move to other countries because society is much friendlier to artists in other places. They get paid better in other places. So, and then what you do is the same way that you find an illustrator, you can find a printer, you can find a person who not a person, a service that prints for you. So I hate to tell people go look it up on the internet, but there are two specific platforms. One where you can find freelance illustrators, and the other one is where you can find a good place to print. Those are the two. If you want to self-publish, after you write your book, and after you write your book, and after you open your limited liability company, you really don't have to, but then again, you should. But then again, you really don't. You don't have to open an LLC. You do whatever you want. But if you, when you open your LLC, then you go find you an illustrator and you find you a place to print,
Mhm.
and you submit your illustrations after your illustrator talks with you, and you print the book, and the book gets shipped to your house. Now, a lot of people are like, how much? Because that is the question that a lot of people want to ask. How much? And the answer is it depends, right? Because obviously, 600-page book is going to be much more difficult to produce. Okay. So I would say if your book is a children's book, and it should be about 10-15 pages, I would say, in order to create a book, a title, I would say a baseline, you need a nice little tax return from about 3 to 5 G's or something like that, and you can publish a book from 3 to 5 G's. And that's just me being honest with you. All right.
Okay.
If you want to publish a book, if you're out there and you're like, oh my goodness, I got all these great ideas and I don't know what in the world, I don't even know how to start. If you got about 3 to 5 G's in the bank, save them up. You can publish a book for that much. If you are very, very careful if you ask others who have self-published before, because I did, and that can be done. So pretty much the short answer is write your book, establish a little LLC in your state, find you someone who can draw, find a service who can print, make sure that you have those funds to do a little bit of marketing as well. If you don't want to do marketing, you don't have to, but illustrating and printing a book, you can do it. You can do it if you have about 3 to 5 G's in the bank, something like that. You can do that. So it's attainable for a person who is really serious about this, because, and I don't want to get into how much and all that, but because different people have different goals and everything. But I'm giving you a baseline.
Right.
It is not impossible. That just take this. It is not impossible to self-publish and be a regular working person. You see what I'm saying? Yeah. You don't have to be uber rich to self-publish.
Right.
We are also, it also depends on what you want to do, because some people want to send their material to Amazon and send it out. We are taking a different approach. We're not going through Amazon yet. We are starting, my wife and I will mail every book. We will dedicate every book. We will write a dedication to every book, because we are establishing a relationship with you. So you got to find which way you want to do things if you want to self-publish, because the resources are different. But that's kind of a baseline way. Write your book. If you want, I want to self-publish. You'll never do it unless you write the book. So write the book first, and then think about self-publishing. Write it. Because this is where everybody gets stuck. Everybody says, I want to write a book, right? Everybody says, I want to write, but they don't write. Sit down and write the book, and you've done about 80% of what you need to do to self-publish. I guarantee you.
Right.
Write down the book. If you sit down and you write down the book, you are about 80% of the way to self-publishing. Guarantee you. So there it is. It can be done by a regular person. So there it is.
It can, and it's being done, right now. Right.
It's being done. That's the way we're doing it. So hopefully we don't run into any issues. We're gonna speak ill of those issues, but if it happens, it happens, right? We all learn together. But I'm really hoping, and you know what, out there also, I had a question. Are you looking to publish other people one day? Yes, one day. Right now we can't, obviously, because we can only do so much. This is one dude and his wife doing everything, and a couple of friends, getting together. But in the future, we get larger, and you are an author who wants to get published, please. And we're called Spectrum Book Publishers. So if you have autism and you have always wanted to publish your work, look this way. But, obviously it'll have to be done when we can, because we want to support people when we can properly do it, not when we can half do it. You see what I'm saying? Right. So, but yeah, it can be done, my friend. It can be there. If you're out there, I promise you, write down the book, and you're 80% of the way there.
Right.
That's where people get stuck. They don't write the book.
And you guys as listeners are going to be, front row to watch it all kind of happen. And that's kind of the goal of this podcast and the goal of the social media and all of that, just giving you kind of a behind the scenes look at what we do. And, I think that concludes our show for today. And we're going to be going on about once a month. And we
gotta let a little bit of progress, by the next time that we are here, we've already revealed another character. We've already have a couple of more illustrations maybe next time we'll give you a little sneak peek of one. We'll see if we can give you one illustration next time. We'll see if you can see at least, something, not with no words or anything. Well, we can show you a little bit of Shani's art, because he's doing a great job out there. And but yeah, maybe a little bit of what's to come before we adjourn. Right now we are getting illustrated. Our friend Shani, the illustrator, is doing his thing, is doing great so far. We are going to be, obviously this will happen after, in about 4 months, we are going to be in Clarksville Comic Con. We are going to have a table there. We're going to have all good stuff there. We're going to start taking pre-orders that day. So if you're in the Clarksville, Tennessee area, which you should be, because I'm not that's where all our reach is, please mark your calendar. Saturday, October 18th, we will be at Clarksville Con. I'm looking forward to showing you a lot more. We'll have a lot more, but we'll be completely illustrated by then. We'll be getting printed by then, hopefully. So I'm able to share a lot more with you in Clarksville Con. So you'll be able to meet me. You'll be able to meet the co-creator Crystal as well. So and we'll go live and everything. So we're really excited to be doing this. So that's what's to come in the future. For next time we see you, my friend, we'll have another character to talk about, and
Great.
we'll have a little bit more preparation for Comic-Con. And who knows, maybe we can share some feedback that the Kennedy Center or some of these providers or some of these autism organizations are giving us. Some of that feedback will be ready by then. So that's what we got to look forward to, man. We got let us cook like the youth says these days. Let the man cook, and we'll get you where we want to get, and we're really excited. And April 2nd, our launch will be here before we know it, friends. So really looking forward to that.
April 2nd of next year is going to be the launch of the first book, and we're really excited for that. That concludes our show for today. Go ahead and give us a like or a follow on wherever you're listening to this, YouTube, subscribe on YouTube or Spotify or anywhere you're listening to your podcast, and go ahead and find us on Instagram and Facebook for where you're looking for Spectrum Book Publishers. And as for today, I am your host, Austin Spearow, and for my friend Melvin out there, we want to thank you so much for being a part of this journey, and we will see you next month for more content.
Stay
Have a good
looped
one,
in,
everybody.
y'all. See y'all later.